Hello, everybody. My name is Rich Chisholm, and this is the Smash Mouth and Smoke Show. Well, thank you guys for watching the video up front. Without your support, this channel would not be able to grow. And so I definitely appreciate you guys coming, watching the videos, clicking like, commenting, anything you'd like to comment, and certainly if you haven't already, subscribing to the channel. Thanks again. Um, so tonight's topic, as we turn the page from the Super Bowl, I start to look forward to what's next for my team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the team I will primarily talk about on this channel when talking football, albeit it will not be the only thing, but it will be the primary thing. And in this case, we're looking at our quarterback situation. Of course, there's been a development about that, and the development is none other than Aaron Rodgers. He has been in contact with the organization regarding playing next season. I understand that he is operating under which should probably be considered a soft deadline to make a decision. Your guess is as good as mine as to what this deadline, when or how this deadline is even going to happen. Um, but it's just disappointing news overall for me. And I'm sure for many other Steeler fans like myself. Listen, appreciate you, Aaron. Um, it goes without saying that we probably we probably had the best quarterback play last year that we've had, probably since Ben Roethlisberger. But even still, your age was apparent. I don't know how your age is going to be apparent at 42 last year, admittedly in Arthur Smith's anemic offense. And it's like, what's it going to be less apparent next season when you're 43? I don't know. I'm not feeling this. It's hard to watch the Steelers operate in this way. Um, so, we'll see what happens. Let's say Rodgers comes back. What does that mean for the quarterback room? I mean, are we going to stand pat in the quarterback room and go into next season with the same three quarterbacks, Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, as we did last season? Man, that seems rough to me. So I don't know. I mean, will they draft a quarterback in this upcoming draft? The Steelers have quite a few picks in this draft. They will have the ability to move around the draft board a little bit if they want to, if they're trying to target a specific guy. And maybe there's a quarterback that they'll like, that they'll want to bring into the quarterback room as an understudy to Aaron Rodgers, should Aaron Rodgers do what I'm expecting him to do and indeed return to the team. The simple fact of the matter is, on Will Howard, is you can't tell me your plan is to go into the season with that quarterback room. And I want to say something about Will Howard here in a minute, because I had gotten a question about Will Howard, and I want to answer that question. Personally, I really wish they would do something cool, something with a little risk to it, but a little excitement to it. Maybe go and sign Malik Willis, who's a free agent. He won't cost any draft capital to acquire. Shouldn't be able to break the bank at the quarterback position. He should probably be able to be had at a fairly modest salary. And listen, the kid showed something in the times that and the opportunities that he received last season in Green Bay. He showed, you know what? I am an NFL quarterback, and maybe this kid is one of those late bloomer types that can get in the right situation and become something. But if it happens, it's unlikely it'll be in Pittsburgh because they seem to have their sights set on Aaron. Now, should Aaron surprise everyone and say he's going to retire, which I really do not expect, then we'll revisit this topic and see what that looks like. But right now, this is just a little disappointing to me, and it just looks like it's going to be another season of Aaron Rodgers. So that's the unfortunate immediate future of the Steelers quarterback situation. Now, I did get a question on the last video from James Harrison 7458. I appreciate the question, James. Thank you, buddy. Pete. For those, I know this guy. He's family. Call him brother-in-law for reasons that should be obvious. Was once married to my sister, not now. But at any rate, I appreciate the question, brother-in-law. And the question is again, why didn't Will Howard get a chance to play? Well, that question, the answer to that question is multiple. Let's start with the fact that Will Howard was a 6th round draft pick, right? Few teams are drafting a quarterback in the 6th round with any intention of them seeing the playing field as a rookie. Usually, if you're taking a quarterback that late in the draft, you're considered a developmental project. And most teams probably figure taking a quarterback that late in the draft that with any luck, they may have found themselves a nice career backup that can be around for a long time with the team as a backup. It's rare. Like when the Patriots drafted Tom Brady in the 6th round, they didn't know he was Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? When the San Francisco 49ers drafted Brock Purdy as Mr. Irrelevant, they didn't know he was Brock Purdy. These guys were drafted as developmental pieces, probably looked at as possible career backups, and a series of events, a series of circumstances at the quarterback position for those teams unfolded in such a way where those guys got those opportunities. Well, Will Howard never had a chance. First of all, aside from the fact that he was a 6th round pick, and that already put him at a major disadvantage to have any kind of chance to come in and start any games as a rookie without a disastrous series of events occurring. Let's remember that Will Howard never even played a preseason game last year because early in the process, he fractured a small bone in his throwing hand. And that injury took him out of the entire preseason. So he never took a preseason snap because he was hurt. And that injury went deep into the regular season. Will Howard wasn't activated off of injured reserve until November 12th. November 12th. And so that's it in a nutshell. The reason why Will Howard didn't have a chance is the combination of where he was drafted and the fact that he had an injury that had him on IR the majority of the season. Even without the injury, though, the quarterback was Aaron Rodgers. Do you know how bad Aaron Rodgers would have to stink up the joint to get benched in Pittsburgh? To pull a healthy Aaron Rodgers and bring in a 6th round draft pick rookie, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. They wouldn't bench Aaron Rodgers for Mason Rudolph, and they certainly wouldn't bench Aaron Rodgers for Will Howard. Aaron Rodgers would have to get injured, and then maybe you got something there because obviously Mason would get the first shot, but if Mason screws up, Will Howard will be standing there and would get his opportunity. But that wasn't the case. We had Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was healthy all year. You put all those things together in the basket, bro, and Will Howard, there was never any intention for Will Howard to see the field last season. And I can also assure you that should Aaron Rodgers return this season and stay in relative good health, it will be more of the same. I don't think Pittsburgh, listen, I know there's a lot of noise out of Pittsburgh about how excited they are about Will Howard. You're hearing McCarthy speak on him. You're probably even hearing some other Steeler fans out there saying, Will Howard, is doing all the right things and this is great and that's great and so on and so forth. Listen, Will Howard was a 6th-round draft pick for a reason. I respect the young man. I respect he won the National College Football Championship. Um, um, he played on a great team in Ohio State. He was a part of that team. I'm not going to be one of those guys that diminish his contribution because the rest of the team around him was great. He was an active role of the greatness of that team, and I acknowledge that. But nonetheless, in spite of all that, no talent evaluator had him rated higher than a 6th-round pick. And so that tells you what the talent expectation is for Will Howard. So any notion that Will Howard is going to be some star quarterback in this league is just a lot of projecting by some fans that that think that think they know something that they probably don't know. Now, I'm not going to say it's impossible. Obviously things happen in the National Football League, and starters come out of anywhere. Kurt Warner, I believe, was undrafted, and we got examples of great stories from unexpected places all throughout the history of the league. But to expect that to be something that's going to happen to a guy is a lot, right? It's those things are surprises for a reason because there's no expectations that it's going to happen for that guy. And so consequently, when I'm looking at it through that lens and seeing Will Howard's career trajectory, I would be surprised. He wasn't drafted with the same expectations as, say, a Kenny Pickett was. So it will be harder for Will Howard to do anything to let the organization down as a 6th-round pick versus what happened with Kenny, obviously. But any notion of Will being the answer at quarterback or being the future starter in Pittsburgh is probably very overblown. My guess is the future starter, the future long-term starter in Pittsburgh is not yet on the roster. And the only real question is, will that person get on the roster sometime this offseason, or will that happen sometime next offseason? That's really the big question. And so that's what we're all kind of waiting to see. It all starts with the combine in a couple of weeks, where prospects will get to work out and start to show their wares in that setting, get interviewed, get medically checked, and all those types of things. And then, of course, shortly after that, free agency will begin. Again, there are some great talent. There are some decent talents. Great is a very strong word, so I take that back. There are some decent talents, like the Malik Willises and things up there, as well as the other various quarterbacks available for trade. Again, nothing that's really all that awe-inspiring. But hey, you never know. Look what happened with Sam Darnold, right? This time last year, I don't think anyone pictured where Sam Darnold is now when he signed with the Seattle Seahawks. So you just never know where these things are going to come from. And then of course, there'll be pro days and things of that nature as we head into the draft. And so all we can do at this point is watch and see what happens, see how they move, see how all you guys' teams move. And we'll see. So I hope that answers the question of Will Howard, Pete, and we'll see what happens next. Other than that, guys, I just wanted to speak on that a little bit tonight. So I'll cut this video short right here. And please feel free to comment any thoughts or any questions you guys may have that you'd like me to answer. I'm happy to do that. And again, I thank you very much for taking the time out of your day and your evening to watch the video, to like the video. And if you haven't already, hopefully subscribe to the channel. Catch you later, and we'll talk soon.